We're now going to be finding the intercepts from an equation. So starting with the graph, just going back to the graph, just get that main idea down. So the y-intercept is when our x is 0. It's kind of the key thing there. When x is 0. And remember right here, right on the y-axis, the x isn't any positive numbers. It's not any negative numbers. Right in the middle is 0. And similarly, for the x-intercept, the y is 0. Same idea. Y is not positive. It's not negative. It's right in the middle right here. So the y would be 0. So let's go ahead and use that idea here. So starting with the the y-intercept. So looking at this equation for the y-intercept, we're going to make x equal to 0. So let's start with the y-intercept. I can already put a 0 in for the x right there. So we have 3x plus 2y equals 5. That's our equation right here that we're starting with. And I'm going to go ahead and substitute the 0 in for the x. 3 times 0 is 0, so it goes away. Divide that 2 to the other side, and y equals 5 over 2. So it's quite simple. The x-intercept, y equals 0. So going through that equation, 3x plus 2y equals 5, I'm going to go ahead and substitute a 0 in for the y. 2 times 0 is just 0. Divide the 3, and x equals 5 over 3. So quite a simple assignment. That's really the idea here. So let's go ahead and do this one. So the x-intercept, this time notice they rearrange the order, so be careful of that. So the x-intercept, y equals 0. So let's start with that. And so I'm going to use the equation y plus 1 equals 3 times x minus 4. And so substitute a 0 in for the y. Distribute the 3. And then solve for x. And I get that x equals 13 over 3. And then similarly, we'll go ahead and find that y-intercept by setting x equal to 0. So that's 3 times negative 4 on this side, which is negative 12. Last, subtract the 1, and y equals negative 13. So that's the idea of the assignment. Just make sure you substitute the zeros in the right place. I think this form is the most difficult one. Standard form is the easiest. You'll kind of notice that pattern. It's a good idea to pay attention to that pattern. That's going to help us in future.